Welcome to Framework Fortune. Welcome back, Framework Fortune community. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm going to redo my setup for Webull. Originally, when I recorded it, not too long ago at the beginning of this year, apparently right after there was an update that changed the whole platform. So I'm going to go through and show you guys how to set it up with the new Webull. Hopefully they don't do another update tomorrow and I have to do this for a third time this year. But it is what it is. Webull is a newer company, so they are going to continue to grow and change things. And we'll talk a little bit about the uses of Webull for day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing along the way. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. When you get the Webull Desktop app, you'll come to some screens that'll probably look like this. I've reset everything, and we even have a blank canvas here. But these buttons over here are going to be your main work area. This right here will be your watch list. You can change your watch list right now. This is on recently viewed, so these are stocks that I was recently keeping an eye on. Then you can click on my positions. You can see currently I've got some Ethereum and I got a little bit of XLM in Webull. So yes, you can trade cryptos. They don't have a huge selection. They've only got like 6 I think now, but they are adding them slowly. So because it's free commissions, it could be good for crypto trading. So looking through this, we're hitting all stocks here. You can see you got a lot of different information to look at. And even though it says all stocks, you still got cryptos that are popping up in here. All this can be customized, and you can also click on these to sort them. So if you want to get sorted by the price, you sort by last. You can see Bitcoin at the top there. Or we can go by the lowest price. As you can see, we got some very, very cheap stocks here on this list. If you want to look at percent change, you can organize it by percent change, and so on and so on. Volume, you can click and do however you want there. But if you want to change some of this stuff at the top and customize it, you can do it from right here. You can see I have most everything on checked. So if you don't want all this extra information, then you can just uncheck it. So I don't know what Sparkline is. I'm going to take that off. So I definitely want the name, definitely want the symbol. Don't care too much about the high and low, pre-market and after hours. You can leave that in, because if you don't and it's pre-market or after hours, this percent change is not going to be quite accurate. Definitely want volume, gotta have volume. I don't really care about the average volume. Turnover, don't care about that. I'm going to leave market cap, don't care about PE. I like to see some dividends, so leave those on. And then I don't really trade any of these others. Sometimes I might grab an ETF, but we'll just go with that for now. And then we've got all this stuff over here we could do, but let's just do it for that. So that way we can see what stocks have the most volume. Because when we're day trading, we want stocks with volume, and you can see Virgin Galactic Holdings at the top there, Sundial Grower, whatever this silver company is, OPTT, so nice bit of volume there. Now you can also just click on one of these and you can add it directly to one of your watch lists. Just right click. So if I want to add iSilver shares, I just click add to watch list and then click on the watch list and we'll add it. So the next button is stocks. It'll take you to this little preset setup, which is not bad, but I like to customize mine from scratch, so we'll be doing that. Next button right here, we have the markets, and this can give you a lot of information. You can see what the overall stock market is doing. You can see what the global stock markets are doing. So if you're curious what's going on over in China, you can check that out. Then we have some news over here. We got top gainers you can take a look at. And these were all runners on Friday. SQBG, Wave, Alec, BLIN. Nice runs there. You can change this and go back further if you would like. You can change it to top losers. Maybe you're looking for dead cap bounces or dip buying opportunities. And you can click on hot ETFs and see what you got there. You can go to industrials too to find certain ETFs in certain industries, which is nice. And then we got a little 52-week scanner here. You can customize that scanner a little bit. This is high paying dividend stocks, so you could go in here and see the stocks that they are showing right now with high dividends. And then you got a little button that even shows you hot stocks on Webull. Of course, AMC is at the top there because a lot of the Wall Street Bets people use Webull, so no surprise there. And you got a calendar over here that tells you about earnings, so when the earnings is coming out and what they're expected and all of that. You can also see future dividends coming out, so a little dividend calendar. And then we also have a split calendar right there, so you can see GE's doing a split there in August. We also have an IPO calendar here, so we can catch IPOs before they come out. Webull will allow you to buy IPOs early within a certain time period. You'll get notifications that tell you that. And then we got an overall little heat map here of what sectors or stocks are doing what, and other sectors right here that you can take a look at, which industries are doing well, which ones are not. And we can click and look at the heat maps for each one of those. So anytime, just remember, you can add any of these to your watch list just by right-clicking Add to Watch List. Next, we have the screener. I'm going to show you how to set this screener up for how I day trade. First, we're going to add some filters here, and we're going to add price, and then we're going to add volume. And that's all I really use for my screeners. So I'm going to stick the price down to $1, and then put the max right here. You can just slide this bar, or you can type it in if you want. Max to 10. Sometimes I trade to 20, but not a big deal. And then for my pre-market scan in the morning, I want a minimum of 500,000, and then the maximum volume. So then market cap, there's not a way that I'm seeing to add float to this or shares, which is a little sad. So you kind of got to figure it out by market cap, whether it's a low float or not. Usually low float stocks tend to have pretty low market caps in this price range. So we'll just make it the minimum, and then let's just go up to like 1 billion maybe. Or we'll do 2 billion, all right? So there we got the scan there, and we've got it all in alphabetical order at the moment, but I want to see the ones that had the biggest percent change, so I'm going to click there, and then we got a couple of those runners from Friday. So next is customize this little paintbrush, and this is where we're going to start building our trading platform at. And then you've got your account, and then you got a paper trade button right there. You can turn into some paper trading. Then you got Learning Center, a lot of information that you can get from there. Then contact us, and of course the overall settings. So if you go to the overall settings at the bottom here, you can change your language, your time zone, the font size. You can pick the theme. So if you want kind of a middle ground, like bluish gray background, you got that. You got the white background or the black background. Of course, I have the black one chosen. As far as colors, you just want to keep it simple. Green up, red down. And the rest of this is just stuff I don't know who would use. So you got some options here with your stocks of where it goes. When you search or double click a symbol, you can send it over to one of these layouts, a watch list, to the screener. Because we're day trading, I'm going to put mine on day traders, because that is what I have my customized named as, is day traders. So if you want to customize your name for it, you just put rename tab by right clicking on it, and then you'll be able to do that. Now make sure after you set everything up to save as customized layout, so you won't have to keep resetting it up. You can kind of change a few things around here with the widgets. You can make sure that your version is updated. They do have hotkeys. I don't use hotkeys, but if you use those, you are able to do that. Then you can set up your default stock orders. So of course I like mine on market type. You can make it a general quantity of 10, or if you want 20 shares or 50 shares, whatever you're kind of trading with. You can make it where it defaults automatically to extended hours. You can also make it default to good till canceled instead of just day. The difference between these are extended hours is going to be for pre-market and after hours trades, but you won't be able to market in, so you'd have to change this to limit. And then day, your order will be canceled by the end of the day. Good till canceled, the order stays in until you cancel it. So then you can throw a stop loss order in there default if you want. So if the stock drops 10% of your buy price, then you can be stopped out. You got to take profit order. If the stock goes up 10%, it will lock the profit out for you. And we got some more quantities and other things that you can set up. I also, for day trading, I turn off the show order confirmation, because I'm trying to click buy and be in the stock and sell and be out of the stock. So I don't want to be playing with stupid little confirmation boxes. Then you can set up some notification sounds for your orders being filled, orders being canceled, and any alerts you want. They have some choices, and then you got the account and security, which I'm not going to click on because that'll be showing a lot of my information. So that's pretty much it for all of these settings and other things you can do on Webull at the moment. So let's go ahead and set up the actual trading window. So we're going to go back to customize, and then you have a little plus sign right here that you can do a new layout if you want and choose one of their defaults. But we're going to go blank layout because we're just starting out. Now you can see it automatically gave me add widgets, but if it doesn't do that for you, then there's this little suitcase right up here beside the save that you can click, and it says add widgets. So we can grab a chart from there. I usually grab 2 charts, so let's go ahead and do that. I want my time and sales. Now you have a little bit of different options here for your order entries. You have a classic, you have active trade, or just a regular order entry. A regular order entry is going to just look like something like this. You will have to unlock for trading, so I'm going to do that real quick. But you can just click new order there, and you can see it'll pop up, and you get this little box. I don't like the classic, so that's not something I'm going to use. If you want to remove any of these, just click this button, and you can remove order entry. So there's classic trade. This is kind of more what I think most people are used to, what I'm used to. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You got the buy and sell. Got your order types, your market and limit order, your market stop order, your stop limit, and your trailing stop. Stop market is going to be a stop loss, but it's going to change to a market order when it hits the price that you want to be stopped out at. So you might not get filled right at the price you want, but you will be guaranteed that filled. Whereas the stop limit order, you can make sure that your stop loss is perfect as you want it to, but you may not get filled, and that's why I use stop market instead of stop limit personally. But everybody has a different trading strategy, so whatever you want to do. Trailing stops can be really nice. So let's say you bought 10 shares of the SPY and you want to put a trailing stop in. Well, I would use percentage, and let's just say 10%. So as the stock price moves up, the trailing stop will follow it until the stock price comes back down, and then it can hit that stop loss. This will guarantee your profits if you're trying to hold a stock up a trend line or as long as possible. You can just let that trailing stop keep following, and then as soon as that stock turns around, it'll hit your trailing stop and you'll be out. But it'll be 10% will be the trail amount. So it'll be 10% behind the price of the stock as it's rising. So we'll put this little box up here. That's what I like to use. And then you got the active trade. It's not really much different than this box, but I like this box better because it's a little less confusing looking. So if you're new, I would just use classic trade. That's going to be the simplest way to do it. And if you want, you can put in your positions, and I recommend that so that way you can see the stocks that you're in, and you can see how much money you're down or up on those positions. So if you're trading multiple stocks at once, then you'll have that on the screen. You don't need your account info up really. You really don't need your P&L because you got it right here. You don't need your banking up at the moment while you're day trading either. You could use the price ladder. This is the same thing as on Thinkorswim, but this one I think is a little more straightforward. You can just click buy limit at the price you want or sell limit at the price you want. So if you want to use the ladder for the limit orders, you can. Not something I'd really use that much because you got everything you really need in this trade box there, the classic trade box. So I'm going to remove that. And then you do have IPO orders, so if you're trying to get in some of those IPOs early, you can have that pulled up. Next, we're going to go over to stocks. We definitely want press releases. We got to have our news, so we'll put the press release over here for a second. If you're longer term investing or swing trading, you can click on the financial statements and be able to get information there. We'll leave this on here too just for now. I wouldn't use it for day trading, but for the swing trades and longer term holds, you definitely probably want to be looking at the financials of a company. Then we can click on corporate actions, and that's going to tell you if there's any dividends, splits, or insider activity. For day trading, I don't need that, but for the swing and long term, you could use that. Then we got the profile, and it's just going to tell you about whatever the stock is. I don't really need that for day trading. And then the rest of this, you just got some ETF stuff and some comments if you want to be typing, maybe making notes or something. If we go to general, we can grab our watch list. We can pop a watch list up here. We definitely want to have a watch list. when we're day trading, so we can keep an eye on the stocks we want to keep an eye on. And then you can pull the screeners up if you want, a note, and if you got any messages from Webull, they'll send them to you. So pretty much this is all I'm going to use to set up my little trading platform here. Let's get the charts in order first. Let's start moving things around. So I like my press releases to be up here in the corner, so I can see those easy out the corner of my eye if something new pops up, and make it a little bit smaller. And then we can put the financials up there too as well. That way we can see what's going on with the stock when it pops up if we need to. We can see the balance sheet or cash flow. And then I also like my watch list over here on the left side too. Then we'll put up our two charts. We want enough room on these charts to be able to see very clearly, so we can catch those patterns and volumes and pivot points, support and resistance, all that good stuff. And then we're going to have this chart up here at the top. So I'm going to move my time and sales over here. I like to see it on the right corner side, and then have my order box right there, and then we'll have our positions here. And if I had level 2, which I don't want to pay for level 2 because very few brokers make you actually pay for it, then I would have level 2 probably right here, or maybe over here, right here below my time and sales. I always like to keep my level 2 and time and sales together because they're both windows of supply and demand, which are going to help when you're trading. So let's stretch these charts all the way out. Now, once you got your layout kind of set up how you want it, you want to connect all of these together. So how we do that, we set as group, and we're just going to make this all a silver S. So I'm going to click set as group on all of these, make it all a silver S. So once you went through, clicked all the little boxes on the set as group to silver or whatever color you want, this is going to connect all of this together. So if we go and click in a ticker symbol, let's put in Tesla, and there you can see it changed everything into Tesla. So we've got the whole setup to where everything will change to whatever stock you're looking to at that moment. So now that we got this pretty much set up, we want to set up our charts. So we've got a moving average on there, just one. We don't want to do all that. We want to make our moving averages the way we want. We're going to click on edit, top of the chart, and this is going to give us our moving averages. So I use the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. Okay, so then we want to make our colors. So we got our 20 there. I like it to be green. My 50, I like to be a dark blue. My 100 day, I like a nice bright gold. And then the 200, the strongest, this is the stop sign. If you're running into the 200, it can be resistance. More often than not, it's going to be very strong resistance. So I like to have it as that red there. So once you've got that set up, make sure you click right here to make sure that you got your EMAs on there, then press done. And now you can see my EMAs are on this chart. This chart is a 1 minute chart. I like this chart to be a daily, so to change your time intervals, you go down here. You see you got 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 1 day. So we're going to change that 1 day chart, and you can actually grab these charts and move them around a little bit to help you kind of center it more, which is nice. Some platforms you can't grab the actual chart like this and move it. Right here, if you scroll up, it's going to shrink the chart. If you scroll down, it's going to open it up more so you can see your patterns a little bit. And then you see at the bottom of the chart, we got our earnings and splits, these little buttons here. If you hover right over the earnings or the S for split or a D for dividend, it'll tell you when it's going to be, what period, and then how much money. So that's very helpful. And we do have our volume bars on the chart already, right there in the background, right here at the bottom. But that's all I use on my daily chart. And if you don't know what these EMAs are, they are moving averages. The price moves these averages because it's the price averaged out over a certain time period. The longer the time period, the stronger the support and resistance these EMAs will be. So next I want to set this chart up for my day trading, and it would be the same exact thing. We'll go to edit, the EMAs, turn them on. I use the same ones on my daily chart that I use on my 1 minute and 5 minute chart to trade with. Then we go into style. We got to change all these colors back. It's a little bit of a tedious process, but once you get it set up and saved, you won't have to do this again. Alright, and there we go. We've got our moving averages on both of our charts. We got our volume. We are all set up and ready to trade. I look at this as a 5-minute chart most of the time. And if you want to have that extra space right there so you can get an idea of where the stock may be going, or if you want to draw, then you can. Let's go over some of this stuff up here. There's the drawing tool, this little pencil. So you can just click trend line if you want, and you just click, hold, and drag, and then click again, and you got your trend line, and you can move it around how you want. You can also change the color of your trend line, the thickness, change it if you want dotted lines. None of that's really that necessary to me. I may do thickness depending on how strong of support and resistance it is, but just for a little basic downtrend, I would just use one of these little simple thin ones. Next, you can go to line style, and this is going to give you a couple of different options. We want the candlesticks full, which it's already on. The rest of these you don't really want. It's going to change it into weird stuff, these other types of charts that no one, I think, really uses, or line graph. Next, we can go and change the grid up a little bit. So we got the 1 chart grid, or we could pop this into 2 charts if we wanted to on this one little screen. Or we could do 4 charts if we wanted to, but we're just going to keep it 1, keep it simple. So if we want to get into indicators and you're wanting more than just moving averages, you do have Bollinger Bands. You got the VWAP if you want to add the VWAP. You got the MACD you can add down there, the RSI, the volume, which we already got. I don't use any of this stuff. The VWAP's pretty good, but MACD and RSI, not something I use for day trading. Now, I do use the RSI for swing trading and longer term investments for entries and exits. And then you also got some other stuff in here like an alligator. Don't know what an alligator is. Pivot point is just going to show you where the stock is pivoting at, basically support and resistance areas. But yeah, that's stuff if you want to get more complicated, but you don't really need to start trading. If you right click, you can also get to these drawings, and you have the different drawings there and your chart settings, and pretty much everything that's up there you can just get to it by right clicking as well. So that's pretty much the setup. There's not much else to it as far as what I use. But remember, after you do all this, go to this little save button. Save custom layout. We're going to call this day trade. I already got the day trader up there, but we accidentally somehow got to a different layout. So now we have that saved successfully. We'll rename it up there too. Even if you save it, you still got to rename it at the top. So there we have day trade. So everything is saved. We should be able to close out, come back in, and it be exactly the way it is now. Be set up every morning, ready to trade. So if you're new to the stock market and you're trying to day trade, Webull is a decent option for desktop, and it does have a pretty good phone app. I like Webull better for the phone app than I do the desktop, but the desktop is relatively easy to use, so it is a decent starting point for most beginners. If you're using it for swing trading and long-term investing, it is very good. Lots of information and research that you can do. If I had to rate the Webull Desktop platform, I would give it 4 stars. It's good enough to trade with. I think it will get better as they continue to update it, and they'll add a little bit more tools. Very easy setup for beginner traders. Very clean setup and easy to read. Now the downside is you can't trade OTC stocks with Webull. You can only trade NASDAQ and NYSE. Nothing down on the OTC QX or QB or pink sheets. None of that. You cannot trade OTC stocks, period. The other downside, like I've mentioned several times, is you have to pay for level 2. I use level 2 a lot, so that's something, if you're going to choose this platform, you do want to pay for it. I think it's only like $1.99 a month or $2.99 a month, something pretty low like that. So it's not like it's some crazy price that you got to pay for it. I'm just being cheap and rather use something where I don't have to pay for it. So if there's something I missed or there's something you want to know more about with Webull, just leave it in the comments below. If you want to check out Webull, maybe you want to start using it, there will be an affiliate link in the description. You sign up with that link, we both get free stocks. Win-win. But I do recommend doing some research on multiple brokers before you just dive into one broker. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.